Polynesia. Polynesia. Focus question. What important aspects of Polynesians' heritage are exhibited in their culture today? Voyage of the Hokulea. In 1973, a group of Polynesians began building a large ship in Hawaii. It was named Hokulea, the Hawaiian name for a bright star that passes over those islands. The finished ship was a 19-meter, 62 feet canoe with two hulls. It was built to be as close as possible in design to the Polynesian ships of long ago. Such ships had carried Polynesians to settle islands all across the Pacific Ocean. However, none had been built in hundreds of years. The islands of Polynesia have been changed a lot because of colonialism. By the early 1970s, other countries had taken over most of the Polynesian lands. Polynesian culture suffered as a result. Pacific Islanders' long-held beliefs and practices were pushed aside. Many Polynesian children never learned the languages and history of their elders. Engines replaced sails on their boats. Modern entertainment took the place of traditional songs, dances, and other customs. Hokulea's creators wanted to study how Polynesian sailors found their way across huge distances with no land in sight. They asked Mau Piailug from the Yap Islands in the Federated States of Micronesia to help them. Piailug was one of the few people who still knew the old way of navigation. He was an expert at using the stars, clouds, wave patterns, and other clues to keep a boat on course. On May 1st, 1976, Hokulea set out on a 4,345 kilometer, 2,700 miles, voyage from Hawaii to Tahiti. It carried no engines or other modern equipment. The voyage was a success. The canoe and crew arrived in Tahiti's Papeete harbor about a month later. More than 17,000 people were waiting to cheer them into port. The first voyage of the Hokulea was not just for show. It proved that Polynesian explorers of an earlier time could actually do what the legends taught. It also served as a symbol, helping to reawaken Polynesians' pride in their ancestors' skills. Across the great ocean, the people of Polynesia have much to be proud of. Their ancestors were some of the greatest explorers in human history. From about 1500 BCE to 1400 CE, Polynesians explored millions of square miles of the Pacific Ocean. They settled island after island across a huge area. For a long time, though, they did not get the credit they deserved. Many people did not believe that ancient Polynesians had the technology and knowledge to make such voyages. Polynesians left behind stories but no written records of their achievements. Researchers had to use their ways to piece together their history. Archaeologists study pottery and other ancient artifacts to find connections between distant groups. Experts compared the languages of people from different islands for clues about who came from where. Recently, researchers have turned to DNA testing, studying the genes in people's cells. Genes offer important clues about where people's ancestors came from and have helped unlock the history of the Polynesians. Taken together, these clues show that the Polynesians first came from Southeast Asia. They settled for a while in what are now Taiwan and the Philippines. These are both major island groups off the coast of mainland China. Starting around 3000 BCE, Polynesian explorers began sailing to the southeast. They often followed strings of islands called archipelagos. They reached Fiji and Samoa about 3,000 years ago. Do you know? As with many other cultures throughout history, some Polynesians used tools and ink to permanently mark their skin with tattoos. The word tattoo originated in Polynesia and was introduced to Europe by James Cook, who was a driving force in the colonization of Polynesia. After 1,100 years ago, Polynesian exploration took a big leap into the unknown. In two main time periods, Polynesians sailed into huge areas of ocean no human had yet visited. First, they settled Tahiti and its surrounding islands between 1025 and 1120. Then, from 1200 to 1400, their voyager canoes spread out in many directions. They settled islands as scattered as Hawaii, Rapa Nui, Easter Island, and New Zealand. These points mark the three corners of what is known as the Polynesian Triangle. Traditional Polynesian culture. Hawaii, New Zealand, Samoa, Tonga, Tahiti, and other Pacific islands are all considered part of Polynesia. They are branches of the same cultural tree. As Polynesian groups split and spread out, they carry their culture with them. Some of these connections lasted through the communities on each island also grew and changed in their own ways. Polynesians brought their religious beliefs with them as they settled new islands. One belief was the idea of mana, which means spirit or life force. Mana can be good or bad. Polynesians believe all living things possesses with a sacred energy. Polynesian religions also feature many gods. Stories about how Earth and its creatures were formed are similar from one corner of the Polynesian Triangle to another. The Maori of New Zealand, for example, believe in Rangi, Father Sky, and Papa, Mother Earth. Among the Hawaiians, these gods are named Au and Po. Maui is another character who appears often in Polynesian myths. He's a half-god, half-human hero, full of mischief, courage, and cunning. Maui gave his name to one of Hawaii's main islands. Polynesian culture spread in other ways as well, including foods. Voyagers loaded their long white canoes with plants